Welcome to Tech Tip Friday. I'm Kurt Stahle, that plastics guy, and I'm here to help you understand the plastics industry just a little bit better. So today I wanted to give you a very brief overview of blow molding. And I think if you're in the plastics industry long enough, you do have a basic understanding of what blow molding kind of is. Perhaps not all of the details, but I just wanted to go over a very brief, a general background of what blow molding is and what it really accomplishes. So at its core, blow molding is the process by which a part that is hollow can be created. And there are other avenues to produce hollow parts, but it's so complicated. You can create a hollow part with injection molding with gas assist or water assist, but it's challenging and you have to have materials and a process that are just dialed in and rock solid. Blow molding essentially creates, it's called a parison, and it's a curtain, a hollow curtain or tube of plastic that comes down from the head of the machine, equivalent to the nozzle on an injection machine, but it creates a ring that drops down. That ring can be a various gauge of plastic depending on the dilats in the head. Fair enough. It drops down to a certain point that's controlled by the processor in the machine, and the blow molding die closes on that parison. The tail end of the parison is crimped off, creating essentially a container that is airtight, and then compressed air is blown into the parison when the mold is wrapped around it. That presses the parison out to the inside of the tool, and there you go, you get your part. Common applications, we've all seen these in caps and closures. Go into any supermarket, from condiments to drinks. PET, there are preforms involved. That's a slightly different process, but you get the idea. Food containers, very, very popular. Household cleaners, very popular for blow molding. Other components in automotive, you might find headrests to be blow molded. And then of course they can be filled with foam, urethane foam typically after the fact, to get an interesting geometry. If you're in the marine sector, boat fenders, that would be a blow molded product. And then of course once they're molded, there's a valve stem put in and they're filled with air, and that allows the boat to press against them, between that and the dock, preventing damage to the hull of the boat. So it's a very fascinating, very useful process, and it really allows for pretty complicated geometry. I've seen blow molded, firearm stocks, for example. Very unusual, very specialized, but that's the process. And then if you're using a thick enough part, obviously attaching other components, you've got enough, thickness, wall stock, to run screws or other fasteners in. So it's really a very useful component, very useful style. Now, if you want to take it the opposite direction, higher performing resins can allow a blow molder to down gauge or run a very thin wall stock while achieving a part that, typically again in caps and closures, achieving a container that really is quite robust and will keep the contents of the goods that it's holding, from spilling and creating damage and mess during shipment or when it's on the shelf at a supermarket. So what are the downsides with blow molding? Well, it's not the fastest process. It's kind of the opposite of a high volume injection molding machine that can knock off 50 or 100 parts every few seconds, like the opposite end of cap and closure, the actual cap. Blow molding is somewhat slower. Doesn't have to be, but it is somewhat slower. So you may find it better suited for very specialized items. Just for example, not to say there can't be fast blow molders, but it doesn't compare to injection molding in terms of speed. And then of course continuous processes like profile extrusion, how do you compare to that? You can't. But blow molding does serve a very important part in plastics processing, giving us parts with very unique geometry and properties that are hollow. So if you have questions about blow molding, you want to reach out to me, I'll see if I can put you in touch with a blow molder in your area. But failing that, Google it for yourself if you need a hollow plastic part. So there you have it. There's today's tech tip. I do hope you learned something a little bit more about the plastics industry, and I will be back next week with another tech tip for you. So until then, have a great Friday and a great weekend. Continue enjoying the summer too. Take care and bye for now.